Welcome to Center Heist Productions. Please hit the likes and subscribe down in your right-hand corner. Muchly would appreciate it as we try to grow the channel. Thank you to my subscribers and followers. If you wander on the channel, please don't leave without hitting the likes and subscribes. Trying to get this channel up in numbers, and I really appreciate your assistance as we offer an integral channel with insight into reviews of what's going on with the Habs within their games and within their system. So this is October 14th, 2024. We had the Pens in town, and this should have been a game we should be able to win. We've beaten better teams out of the three. And we get a team that this should be an easy win for us. And what do? We squander it. And this is why there are, for this young club, big issues. That it means there's the expectation is definitely too high for where they are at in the process. Uh, what can I say? I think how do I put this word? I don't know where to start. Let me start with the stats, and we'll go from there. I want to keep this one short because I was totally disgusted with this game. All right, so final score 6-3. Penguins just couldn't blame this on Monty as well. I'm making that clear. First period 2-1 for the Pens. With second period was 2-1 for the Canadians, and then the Pens scored 3 goals in the third. It's a seesaw type of game. Pens won the first period. They won the third period. We put up a fight in the second and looked like we were doing something, and just squandered it. And the usual story, Lars Eller, no matter who he plays for, seems to just feast on Montreal. So he had 2 goals against his old team. Malkin had a goal and 2 assists. Pittsburgh Penguins beat the Montreal Canadiens Monday night. Chris Letang and Kevin Hayes and Rickard Rakell also scored for Pittsburgh. Tristan Jarry stopped 24 shots. Sidney Crosby was held off the score sheet, keeping him to only 1 point shy of 1,600 points. The 37-year-old is looking to become the 10th player in history to reach that mark. So here we go. First star was Malcolm. Had a very good game. 1 goal, 2 assists, +2. Lars Eller had a great game. 2 goals, +3. I actually would have given Lars the first star personally. Third star, Mike Matheson. 2 assists, -1. I don't know how he got a star in this. That kind of baffles me. Sorry to say that, but it just really baffles me. So, we'll go to the scoring summary. 6:54, Lars Eller opens the score, scoring with Paul Viarvi and Pedersen assisting. 16:49, Ricard Mercal, assisted by Malkin and Bunting. 18:16, Caden Gooley gets us back in the game with a nice blast from the point, assisted by Matheson and Suzuki. Yaroslavsky gets a nice feed from Nick Suzuki and Matheson on the power play. That's probably why they gave him. He had 2 assists, so that's probably why they gave him the third star. Sorry. Emil Heineman scored at 14:26. What a beautiful shot this was with 2-on-1, and he just fired the cannon. Great shot by Heineman. He actually was one of the very bright spots for the Habs tonight. Because it started getting pretty gloomy. 16:23, Lars Eller scores again. Then we start the third period, and this is where the Penguins just take right over the game, and Montreal just totally loses all traction. Kevin Hayes assisted by Noel Carey and Eric Carlson. 11:32, Chris Letang assisted by a nice goal, assisted by Malkin and Grizzly. And 1850, Evangeline Malkin by Grzelcyk on an empty net, nice shot, and he doesn't miss. Shots were close, 31-27 for the Pens. Hits were 27-23 for the Canadians. Face-offs 31-17. We got our butts handed to us there. Pens were 0 for 1 on the power play, and we were 1 for 2. So our power play is starting to, at least we're getting a goal a game, it seems, and that's a positive. So let's hope we keep moving that needle in the right direction. Penalty minutes 6-4 for the Pens. Uh, Giveaways 23-8 for the Pens. Takeaways 9-6 for the Pens. Block shots 21-15 for the Habs. I'm not even going to go into the penalty summary. Not even worth my time, really. It was just the defensive coverage was just, it's so funny because when the game started in early going, Barron shocked the heck out of me. He actually had a couple big hits, which was totally unlike him in the early going of this game, and it looked like he was going to play like that all night. He was looking great, um, but that soon came to an end, and that's where my frustration is with Justin Barron. Um, Missed coverages, which got Pittsburgh back ahead of us. Yes, Slav had some responsibility in a couple mistakes with a couple goals as well, but Slav was left on that breakaway or the one-on-one, sorry, and it was like Barron he could have had the guy, and it was like he just totally gave up on him, and knowing that Slav's the only one back and not a defenseman, you would think that since he was so close, he would have. And can't tell me he didn't have him. And why he stopped skating hard is beyond me because we all know he's a great skater. So just a lack of heart. Realizing that it was just a matter of a shot, and you don't have a defenseman playing the guy. You got Slab back there playing him, but even at that, you couldn't put the blame on Slab. He did his part and just hope for the best with the shot, but it went in, and that's what I'm saying. That's so I'm really frustrated with Barron. Um, was looking like I said, he was gonna have a good game, and he just tosses it away and starts playing sloppy again. Missed coverages. Oh, Jack Eye, same thing. Jack Eye had the one in front of the net with who was that player? Let me see here. Let me go back to the scoring sheet, and yeah, he had. I think it was a goal right after that, or something of that nature. Let's see here. Who was it? We will get there. With I'll know it as soon as Kevin Hayes in the third period, and just totally blew it in front of the net, and there's no reason why my buddy Jack I shouldn't have had it, and this is why he's taking heat. Uh, he goes down, and he should have had this play inside out. He should have had Hayes covered and his stick taken, and he's putting himself in a world, in the same area as I'd say he's got, more things that where he is the sheriff, basically. That's his assets, but his game's got to come. His coverage, questionable at times. Very. And I think they cut his ice time after that play. But, I think Caden Gooley had the strongest game, other than Lane Hudson. He got burnt tonight a few times. It caught up to him, misplaying some. But David Savard, whoa, wretched. I think David Savard was actually next to Barron and Jack. The three of them just not impressive. Blew his coverage several times, and his speed is really it is as much as you love that he's a mentor. His speed is definitely costly. His lack thereof. But you get that. It goes that way with him at times. So really, I thought Gooley had the strongest game on defense, shutting down Crosby. He did pretty good with that and scored as well, showing that he's got an end. His offensive side is coming nicely. And like I said, for the youngster Hudson, looked great with his maneuvers and in the offensive zone. But eventually, you get caught on defensive mistakes, and he got that defensively. It wasn't a great night for him. However, I think Barron looked the worst, and I think Jacky and the Savard followed. That's where I see that, and then I would say Hudson was the second to the top of our defense core. Nothing to be proud of. Matheson would be after goalie. Then third would have been Hudson. Um, just downright blown coverages left, right, and center by all the defensemen, really. And that means the forwards coming back too. They were just not. I mean, there was a goal there that I know it was really Jake Evans that should have been in front of the net there. I think it was one of Malcolm's goals or Malcolm's goal. I think, and it should have been Jake Evans in front of the net, but it was Kapanen. So I don't know what happened there. If there was a miscue there, and Anderson was close too, and the three of them just all looked bad on that play. But Kapanen was the closest to the guy and didn't take his stick away from him, tie it up. So a goal that could have been stopped wasn't impressive. That those three shouldn't have been put together anyway. You could tell that Marty was juggling lines a little bit, and that juggle doesn't work. That's for sure. Emil Heineman was by far the best forward. No Anderson, but yes, nice to see Slav score, and he was good on the offensive side of things. But his defensive side just he paid the price a few times tonight, and it shows why he's got to get more physical. If he would take the guy on the boards like he was doing last year, you wouldn't have had breakouts out of the zone at times. He could have, even though it might have been a defenseman's job, but you step in to take that defenseman's place, take the guy out. And he just let the guy squeeze by him. So those were errors, and he's got to wake up to it because he's a big man and big body. And I wasn't happy with him. Score or not score, I wasn't that happy with Nick either. Um, I guess Cole's probably the happiest I'm with on that first line, but they started off um, on the right track and doing well. Second period, we played very well. We took the lead, and we shouldn't have ever given it up. So this was the time where we blew a game that we should have had. This was our game, and we threw it away. And those are going to cost you, and that's why you're not going to be in the wild card mix. You might be in the mix underneath it, and no, there's big problems there. This defensive system, I don't know what the issue is, but it's a hot mess, and I don't know what's wrong with even Doc. Doc looks like he's just not himself. I don't know. I don't know what's going on there. Kapanen had, other than a defensive forward or two, had an all right game. But Heineman, by far, best forward on the team tonight. Galley didn't have a bad game. Armia was okay. But other than that, there was nothing really to write home about. I mean, just because you get a nice goal, um, and I mean, Slab did get a nice goal, and he does go to the front of the net, helping us get chances, and that's a bonus. But he's got to work on that, taking the body on the boards. That's a strength that we expect out of him, and he's got to stop being soft. Don't be like how Barron usually is. Barron, like I said, surprised me on one shift. I thought he was going to come out of a funk and show us a new Barron, but that only lasted one shift with a couple big hits, which I was proud of him. And then all of a sudden, he went right back to being Barron. So for that, there's no way anybody should be looking at Monty being the blame of any of this. The team just played piss poor in front of them, and if Montreal cannot clue that this defensive system they are working does not work. does not work. It's been a problem. It is a problem. And if you're trying to progress forward, it's got to change. So, whatever, I guess they say it's a hybrid system. Well, one way or the other, whatever you're doing out there, I don't care what type of system you want to call it, it doesn't work. When something doesn't work, you stop doing it and you introduce something that does work for the boys. So that being said, I don't have much good to say about this game other than I thought, the second period when we fought back because we didn't play great in the first period. Um, I thought, oh, okay, they're awake, but then they come right back in the third period and just like they went right back to first period mode, and basically it was all Pittsburgh. And this is a game you should have had because Pittsburgh is falling from grace. But a team that's probably not going to make the playoffs. And if we can go out there and beat Ottawa and Toronto, there's no reason why we shouldn't have been able to beat Pittsburgh. So this is one of those games that are going to come back to haunt you at the end of the year. So sorry to say that, but my biggest positive tonight was Heineman, and that's good on him for playing so well. But there's a lot, and Anderson was back to Anderson. I wasn't happy with him tonight. He played much better the last few games. Tonight's game wasn't impressed with him whatsoever. Newhook, where the heck was Newhook? I didn't see him. Dvorak had a crappy game. So don't know. Didn't look good. Wasn't impressed. They gotta wake up, and they gotta start winning games that are like this was an easy game for them, and they blew it. And like I say, Monty, hold your head up high. Wasn't on you. Uh, for me, Marty's got to accept that he needs a defensive concept introduced to the team. And I hear a bunch of names being floated around by some of the reporters, and I'd say, truthfully, no one knows if Markov can coach, and from the way he was so quiet, I highly doubt he is the right choice. And people have mentioned that just because he could score from the point doesn't mean he's the right choice. Chelios would probably have a better chance than he did because he's was out there spoken. But truthfully, if they want to correct this problem, you had a chance in the past to hire Robinson as a defense coach and you blew it. But he then came out and said he didn't want to be a defense coach. But I'm sure if you offered him to be a consultant, like he was for St. Louis when they won the cup a few years back here, and he's a genius to that. That's the type of coach we need to fix the problems. And even if he's not the coach, you can still keep your guy in there, but the guy is also going to have to learn what the system is from Robinson, whoever the defense coach is. If so you can get him in there as a consultant like Vinny is. And that's what I would do if I was Montreal. I think you have to get somebody that can introduce a better defense system because this is awful. This defense system they're playing, it's pathetic. It's a hot mess. They look like they're scrambled. They have no clue. It's like they're all lost. And even the guys, like I said, I love Jack Eye, but I was not a happy man with him tonight. Barron, like I said, even worse. But I thought he was going to have a great game. With those couple of hits, he came out looking like a feisty Barron. And then it was all over. He was right back to being Barron. So, and Hudson, like I say, learning experience for him tonight defensively. But everybody, I mean, he was trying to cover David Savard a few times as well, being out of position. David Savard had a really bad night. So, not much good I can say on this, the way the defense played, other than Gooley was the strongest point defensively. And both him and Hudson offensively were pretty solid offensively as well. Both of them. That's where Hudson was solid. He just between trying to cover for David Savard and making some of his own mistakes, getting burnt. He got caught tonight on his defensive side. Bound to happen. He's young. He needs to learn. So thank you for joining me. You've seen it here first at Center Heights Productions. Um, we will catch you in the next game. I think that's. Why do I want to say? I think Calgary or not Calgary, LA's coming up. Anywho, the next game we will give you a review of that. Thank you for joining me. Leave your comments. Tell me what you thought. Just my opinion of what I saw tonight. Wasn't happy with the result at all, at all, at all. And these guys should be very upset with themselves because I felt so bad for Monty. He was doing his part. Yeah, just a real pathetic defensive effort, especially when you fight back in the second period. And then what? You're going to disappear again? No. You already know you got guys in the lineup like Eller, like Crosby and Malcolm, who are dangerous threats to you. Can't do that, no matter the case. And this was a game you need to win. This is a game you should have won. You have to win those. So thank you for joining me. You've seen it here at Center Heights Productions, and we will catch you in the next episode. Please hit the like, subscribe, and share the video, and we muchly appreciate it. God bless.